This is the MNML MR2 golf bag. Comes with a built-in charger for your phone, solar power, the option to get a Bluetooth speaker with it, and a few other features I have never seen before in a golf bag. But at $319, are these cool features actually worth it, and are they revolutionary, or are they just kind of gimmicky and you're better off going somewhere else? Today, I'm gonna do a full review of the MNML golf bag. I'm gonna let you know what I like, what I don't, and if it's worth picking up for your needs. So if that sounds good, let's hop into the video. So right out of the gate, one of the things that is different about MNML is they are completely direct to consumer. As I understand it, you have to go directly to MNML, and they say that they do that in order to keep the costs down, and they can have all these cool technological features at a price that doesn't totally break the bank. Now I gotta say, my expectations for this bag were pretty high. I was pretty much expecting a vessel quality bag at a lower price. And in some ways it delivers on that, and in some ways it doesn't. So let's talk about first impressions. So first off, I took it out of the box. I love the look of it. I like the fact that the MNML branding is relatively minimal. They use a 100% recycled nylon ripstop that is both lightweight, it's durable, and there's some cool features you can do because of this material I'm gonna talk about later in the video, but overall it looks really nice. I will say it does not feel as high-end as other luxury bags. So for instance, the synthetic leather that Vessel uses on the Player 5 and the Player 5 Pro, this does not feel as good as that. And honestly, I don't think this feels quite as good as the Vessel DXR, which is their kind of lighter nylon ripstop material. Not to say that this is bad by any means, but it does feel a step lower than that, or say the synthetic leather of, say, the new Sun Mountain Match Play bag. That being said, I think a lot of people will prefer this material over a canvas bag like a Jones or something like that. It does feel more modern, so I'm not saying this to bash it in any way. It just was a little bit different than what I was expecting in terms of kind of truly high-end feeling material. The other thing that surprised me about this bag right out of the gate was the size. I think I was expecting it to be slightly bigger. Now, part of this is me having to kind of recalibrate where I'm at, because lately I've been using the Vessel Player 5 Pro, which has a 9.5-inch opening up here. So you have plenty of room for your clubs, full length dividers, nothing ever gets tangled with that bag. So with this bag, which is a smaller bag, this is definitely a better bag if you were looking to carry all the time. It's only a 7.5-inch opening. And it does have the velour top and velour straps, which is a feature I love. This feels really high end, so I was happy to see that. But because this opening is 2 inches smaller, there just isn't quite as much room for all your clubs. And once I loaded it up with 14 clubs, I did find that things got a little tight. I believe that in this bag there are 3 full-length dividers as opposed to the 5 sections that are here, but once it was fully loaded, I was getting a little bit of club tangle. I was having a little bit of trouble taking clubs out. Nothing major, but it was something that I noticed when I compared it to bags that did have a little bit more room and a little bit more opening. And it isn't totally apples to apples. That Vessel bag I consider more of a hybrid bag. It's heavier. It's for the person who's going to be using a cart, using a push cart, and walking. This, I think, is more for someone who's planning to carry their clubs on a more regular basis. And in many ways, it is definitely better for that, not the least of which is the size and the weight. Walking and carrying the bag overall was great. I will say the straps are very comfortable, although instead of more of an integrated dual strap design that you see with a lot of other bag manufacturers right now, this one just uses, some plastic clips here, which I did find were easy to adjust and easy to get this to be comfortable on my back. The straps, like I said, are thick. The velour lining is awesome, but to me, it does feel a little bit cheap given the price point of this bag, which is over $300. So it's not like this is a cheap bag. All right, but let's talk about some of the different elements that make this bag so unique and make this bag special. So one of the major features of this, and they're not the only bag to do this, but not many of them do, and it is a very nice touch, is that every pocket on here is magnetic. That definitely is one element that makes it feel more high-end, and also those magnets are most likely going to last longer than the zippers you find on traditional bags. So you have a couple big pockets on the side. This is a thermal one that can fit up to 6 cans of whatever you would like. Similar pocket over on the other side that is not thermal lined. You've got ball pocket right here on front, and right here you have a very tight pocket on the hip pad that I don't know what this is. I don't know what you would put in here. There's not much room. It's not lined in any way, so it's kind of rough in there, so it's not really a valuables pocket. But, that's just one I probably wouldn't use a whole lot. So seeing all those magnets is a nice touch. And even on the front, you have a magnet for a ball marker, which is a cool touch. So you can put your ball marker right there. Very nice. So one of the coolest features of this bag, and this is the only bag I've ever seen that has this, is this pocket right here, which is a phone holder. So you put the bag down, that's gonna bring the phone to level, you place it behind you while you're practicing, and you can video and photograph your swing. It's a simple thing, but it makes you kind of wonder, well, why haven't more people thought about that? It's one of those functional and useful aspects of this bag, and it's really thoughtful design. So some of the other elements of this bag get even more high tech. The most notable of those is this, solar power. You've got a solar panel here, which will provide power to this, a USB-C cord, so that you can plug in whatever devices you have. And sure enough, I take this bag out for my first round, I plug it in, my phone starts charging. Definitely a cool and thoughtful element. My question is, though, is having the built-in solar panel, having, the charger that's all kind of routed through the bag, it's kind of hard to access. What happens when that breaks? I'm not saying it's going to break. It all seems high quality, but for 20 bucks, you can go buy a USB charger on Amazon, replace it if it breaks. Is that more valuable than having this built in? I'm not sure. This definitely wins in terms of cool factor, especially considering it's going to be charging whenever you are out playing. It's an interesting element, it is useful, maybe a little bit gimmicky, but I have not seen any other bag that does this. Along with that, keeping with the tech of the bag, is this. You can get a Bluetooth speaker for an additional $39. Now, it's a pretty good deal in the world of Bluetooth speakers. You can go out and get a JBL Clip 3 or JBL Clip 4 for pretty much the same amount of money. So considering if you get this, all of a sudden that brings the price of the bag up to over $350. That is not a cheap bag. So should you get this? It sounds fine. Like, I would say the JBL sounds maybe a little bit better to my ear, but absolutely no complaints. And if you like the minimal branding, the fact it's all matte black, it fits in with the design of the bag, then by all means, you should pick that up. So this bag does have just a regular plastic top handle. At this price point, I would have liked to see a handle that was a little bit thicker, and I'd like to see something that's leather or at least synthetic leather, something that's a little bit nicer to the touch. You've got this here, which totally works, but I personally always tend to grab my bag right here. So having a nicer touch point is something that I would have preferred, but it's not a deal breaker. Two things that I do miss on this bag is there's no full-length apparel pouch. So you do have the good size pouches on either side, but if you're actually bringing drinks onto the course, then this one's going to be full. And this one over here is pretty good size, but I'm generally gonna have balls, I'm gonna have gloves, I'm gonna have miscellaneous stuff kind of throughout this. So this is one style of bag where you have all of your storage down here that I personally don't gravitate towards. The Stitch SL2 Make It Yours and Airwalker has kind of that same design, although I feel like there's more space and there's more storage than this particular bag has. But again, this is a lightweight walking bag, so sticking with the name minimal, it is going to be a bag that is more for the minimalist golfer. The other thing I do miss is that there is no valuables pouch for a watch or your wallet or your keys. I would have loved to see something like that up here. Like I said, there's this pouch right here, but this is not velour lined. Like, I wouldn't put a nice watch in here or anything. So minor details, but in terms of functionality, that was definitely something that I noticed throughout my rounds with this bag. The last thing before we finished up is I did mention there were some special things you could do because of this nylon ripstop material. So this is actually one of the most customizable bags you can get, in the sense that you can get this hand painted with whatever you would like on it. So here are a couple examples of what some of those custom bags look like. But when buying one of these bags from Minimal, you can then select the customization option, and one of their certified minimal artists is going to reach out to you to talk about what design you want on the bag. It's a cool feature. I've not seen any other brand that does that. I don't know enough about golf bag materials to know that if you could do that on other bags or not, but the fact that they do it and the fact they make it so easy for you to do is really a pretty cool feature. So all that to say, at $319, should you buy a Minimal MR2? Maybe. Overall, this is a really solid bag that has some features that you're just not going to see anywhere else. If you love some of those features I talked about, the solar power, the built-in charger, the ability to have a speaker, the little magnet right here, the fact that every pocket is magnetized, the fact it uses all recycled materials, then I think you're going to love this bag, specifically if you are someone who primarily carries. If you're someone who tends to be a little bit more of a pack rat, if you're someone who likes storage, if you're someone who likes a more versatile bag that's going to be equally at home on a push cart or a cart as it is on your shoulders, if you want the highest of the high quality luxury bag, if any of those fit you, then I'm not necessarily sure this is it. This is definitely a premium bag. This is definitely better fit and finishing than a lot of golf bags out there, but I don't think it's truly a luxury golf bag. And at $319, you're starting to work your way up into that territory. I do think it's a pretty good price for the bag. I would say that despite me comparing it to the Vessel and the Sun Mountain, which are other bags I've been testing recently, I would say that the bag that is most similar to this is the Sunday Ranger bag, both in terms of material, aesthetic. I think that these two bags are very similar. That to me, I like the storage and the layout a little bit better. They carry equally as well, but this has some of those high-tech features, so you can kind of decide which one of those things you prioritize. But overall, despite the materials and build quality not feeling quite as high-end as I expected it to be, I really enjoyed using this bag. They're doing a lot of unique things that are different than any other bag on the market, and you gotta commend them for that. So if this appeals to you, if you're thinking about buying it, I would absolutely run out and get it. I think you're gonna be very happy with it. With that, my name's Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Breaking 80, where we talk about cool golf products and cool golf courses. Still not sure if this is the right bag for you? Go take our 30-second bag quiz. You're gonna answer a few questions about what you're looking for, and I'm gonna make my recommendation on the bag that I think is the best fit for you. And also, if you're trying to figure out what to watch after this, go watch this video. This is my take on the best bags that are currently on the market and see if the one you've got your eye on made the list. Hope you have an excellent day. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.